What's goody? What's goody, people? I am sitting here thinking about the importance of grounding and the need for uh, us to release that which weighs us down. The earth is always trying to remove our stresses. You know, when you look at it from a human design standpoint, there's so much that can be said about the root center and its ability to provide adrenal energy, stress, depending on whether it's defined or undefined in your chart. But in the totality of the process, as I try to set this up here, in the totality of the process, there's a lot that can be said about, come on, a lot that can be said about our need for release without putting our feet to the ground. We don't allow ourselves a chance to even, be clear. And the only way that we can first achieve and then maintain that clarity is through release. One thing, if I learned nothing else from trees living in Dallas, Texas, it was that the release of the leaves during the autumn season was indicative of new life. How do we create new life without release, without making room for that which is new? How do we create new life without the understanding that nothing will happen, nothing will move into this empty space that we have until we make it empty space? There's so much we have to relearn about letting go, about releasing, about realizing that the release is not a loss, but a gain. It is not a sad moment, but a joyous moment. It is not a moment to dread. It is a moment to look forward to, because that is the only way that we make room for the divine to bless us. I hear the words of Baba Yele Tunji, words that I'll never forget, as I was going through some of the challenges of my initiation. And he told me that I had to die in order to be reborn. And those words can seem very cliche. They can seem very, okay, I've heard that before, but at the same time, it reminds you that while death is painful, it is also a celebration. We celebrate those that pass on because we know they're coming back. We celebrate them because they have lived lives that are worthy of celebration. Those that do not live lives worthy of celebration probably don't get a celebration, don't deserve one. But those who do, we want them to bring that energy back into this realm. We want them to return. We want them to say, yeah, I want to do this again, And so the release is much different when the intention behind it, the life lived before it, holds beauty that you want to experience again. Look at your life, look at your experiences and the things that you don't want to let go of. Why don't you want to let go of them? Because those experiences are beautiful. Sometimes. Other times you don't want to let go because you may be attached to the trauma, the identity that is a part of that trauma. If you don't let go of the trauma, how can you, become somebody different? If that trauma is what makes you who you are, if it's what makes you feel justified in your behavior, if it is what makes you feel defined in your character, in your traits, then you'll stay stagnant. But when you let go of it and you release the narrative and the story behind it, the story that you've written, the story that you've fashioned to tell people why you exist the way that you exist. When you release that, a whole new you becomes possible. I'm learning to release people, places, and things, to be a minimalist, an emotional minimalist, a spiritual minimalist, a minimalist in terms of my possessions, in terms of my ideologies, my beliefs. It's the only way that I'll find a new set of ideologies and beliefs. It's the only way that I'll transform and become something else. So, in this moment, I release. In this moment, I say, begin again. Start over. Be made new. Purified, clear, spotless, consecrated, sanctified, holy. Pure, white, clean slate. And build something new. Build someone new. Yeah. So double.